We're going to be talking about spotting a liar today. And many people have heard things about physical cues in the past, like if a person is looking at you directly in the eyes, things like that. But there's so much more to spotting a liar than people realize. So we'll discuss a few different situations and scenarios today. They say that any person gets lied to about 10 to 200 times per day. 10 to 200 times per day. So that's a great deal. They say that when strangers meet, they lie to each other about 3 times within the first 5 minutes. So there's a lot to be understood about why people lie. um, Extroverts, people who are extroverted, they lie much more than people who are introverted. I know some personal examples of that in my life, of people who are extroverted and they can't seem to tell the truth. But people who are more reserved and more quiet and more introverted tend to be more honest. This is just scientific evidence when it comes to lying. We're going to talk about how to catch a lie, though, too, as well. Men lie more about themselves than they lie about other people. Women lie more to protect other people. So there's a whole psychology behind it. Babies lie. Uh, uh, a 2-year-old will lie like crazy. A 9-year-old becomes very deceptive. College kids lie to their parents all the time. The list goes on and on. If you tell a 2-year-old that he can't have a cookie and you leave the kitchen, and when you walk back in, he was reaching for it and pulls his hand away, and you say, "What were you doing?" The kid will say nothing. And no one even taught him how to lie. And it's a part of his human nature. So there's much more than the physical cues when it comes to lying. Um, there's much more than the signs. We'll use an interrogation room to begin with. When to start with, as an example, when someone is being interrogated, um, they if they're guilty, they will tend to lean back more in their chair. You see, when they're guilty, they want to create a distance from the person that is accusing them of things. When they're guilty, it makes them feel safer to have space. So if a detective is questioning someone, or even if it's outside of law enforcement, and the person is being accused of something, they like to create space. Another thing they also like to do is create walls or barriers. They may take a can of soda and put it in front of them and the person who's questioning them, or a bag of potato chips, or they stack things in front of them. This is like building a wall to protect themselves, and they do this subconsciously. You know, um, you have to. There's the physical signs of when a person is being questioned. They may start to sweat. Uh, they may cross their legs or cross their arms. These things make them feel more safe, make them feel more protected. But some people cross their legs naturally. Some people cross their arms naturally. So there's a lot to be taken. Not one of these things is a for is a telltale sign that someone is lying. But when you put them together, when you put the red flags together, and they start to build up, that's where the old saying comes: Houston, we have a problem. If the person is sweating, they're leaning back, they're building a wall, they have their legs crossed, they're not making any eye contact. These things, these red flags add up. You know, and you see the signs of deception there. One thing about which is very deep is learning how to spot facial expressions. And this is inside of an interrogation room, or with your spouse. See, so what happens? I'll have to give you an example here. Let's say let's say a man uh, has always wanted to sleep with this woman. He loves this woman. He's always wanted her, but she's married. And so she was unapproachable because she was married, and the guy hates her husband too, hates her husband, has a disdain for the husband, and he wants this guy's wife bad. And then one day, someone comes up to him and says, let's say their names are Stacy and Mark, okay? And he loves Stacy and he hates Mark. And someone comes up to him and says, "Hey, Stacy and Mark?" He says, "Yeah, of course I know them." He says, "Mark died of a heart attack this morning." You know, when he receives that information, he is going to be a little bit experience a little bit of happiness that Mark is out of the picture, right? But it wouldn't be appropriate for him to show that. It wouldn't be appropriate for him to say that. It wouldn't be appropriate for him to express that. But what will happen is when he receives that information, his facial expression is going to show that for a fraction of a second before he can change it into the face that he believes he should have. So he says, "Oh yeah, yeah, Mark died of a heart attack this morning," and then boom. So right, it's really, really fast, facially, and this goes into all aspects of questioning. We'll get back to that in a little bit. Let's get to back to the interrogation room. I said, when a person is guilty, he tends to lean away and build the wall. But when a person is innocent, he'll tend to lean forward and welcome the conversation, welcome the questioning, right? Welcome the whole scenario he's in because he's innocent and he's willing to participate. Let's say the officer says to the guy, "I see you got a Dallas Cowboys jersey on." The guy's being questioned for murder. And the cop says to him, "Oh, you got a Dallas Cowboys jersey on. I'm a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. You watched the game last night?" And the person who's being questioned says, "Yes, I watched the game last night." "Oh, did you see so and so ran so many yards?" What's happening is the officer is doing this on purpose. He's looking to see if this individual feels relieved that the subject has changed. Right? He changed the subject on purpose to see if the person being questioned is content with the questioning turning into a conversation. If his breathing calms down and he starts to relax, that's because the person being questioned is so happy to get off of the topic because he's guilty. But an innocent person, if the officer tries this with an innocent person, the innocent person is going to say, "Listen, I don't want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. You're here questioning me for a crime and you want to talk about football? Let's continue to participate in the conversation right now." Right? Now, that's not saying that the guy is for sure innocent, but it's a good sign that the person wants to participate. You know, um, people lie to make themselves People lie to make themselves the person they want to be instead of the person they are. This is why people tell lies in everyday life. But in a situation like in interrogation, it becomes different. In regular life, you have what they call the fake smile and the real smile. You do this with your wife or husband all day. When you're talking about something and you see your wife smile a little bit, you know if the smile is real or fake. See, a fake smile is just a little one. A real smile makes the crows around the eye because and you smile. It's a real smile. You see it in the whole face, but you don't see a fake smile. And the fake smile is just a little bit, and that tells you that the person is being deceptive. You know, but we'll go to the important one, which is relationships. Okay, and in relationships, let's say you believe your girlfriend was out to lunch with another man. She says she was out to lunch with her friend Kathy. You don't believe that. Now, when she comes home, you can directly accuse her of being a liar. You could directly accuse her of doing something wrong, and say, "Listen, you said you were out with Kathy. I don't believe you." That's called a direct attack. And if you do a direct attack, That's not the way to start it. You could always save the direct attack for the end. You follow me? If you directly attack someone, they can respond by saying, "You're crazy. I'm not talking about this. You're accusing me of lying. You're nuts." Now your ability to gain any information is out the window because you directly attack them. You save the direct attack for later. So let's say you think she went out to lunch with another man. She comes home. "Hey, honey, how you doing?" You gotta be yourself. Oh, she said, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You and Kathy had lunch today?" "Yeah, we had lunch. Nice, nice. Where'd you girls go?" She said, "Oh, we went to the outdoor place over there on Lexington." "Oh, nice. I've been wanting to go to that place, man. How was their food there? Was it nice?" "Oh, yeah, it was really good." What'd you have? What'd you have there? What'd you eat?" She says, "Oh, I had a salad." "You went to that nice place. All you had was a salad. What'd Kathy eat?" She had a salad too." All right. So what's going to happen at this point is your spouse is receiving question after question. You don't want to make it feel like you're really questioning her. You're just participating in a normal conversation. Now, if your spouse or your wife or your girlfriend has anything to hide, she is going to be very uncomfortable with this questioning because now she has to make up the story about what she ate, about what her girlfriend had. If she turns around and says to you, "Listen, why are you asking me so many questions?" Guilty. In my book, guilty. Right? She has a guilty conscience. She doesn't like being questioned. She did something wrong. There's a good chance of that. But when you know someone too, you know their natural tone of voice, you know their natural flow, you know how they speak to you. And if she has no reason to lie, that natural flow should not be interrupted at all. She should be cooperative. She should want to participate in that conversation and be 100% cooperative as long as nothing wrong. You know, liars Liars use too much detail too. You got to pay attention to that. If she's creating a story with all this detail, or the person in the interrogation is using so much detail, you really have to watch out for that. Your idea is to gain as much information as possible. You ever see when the hands don't match the words? See, some of the biggest liars in the world are politicians, right? And you'll see politicians, they're standing behind the podium, but their hands don't match what they're saying. "I will not lower taxes." It doesn't look natural. Like the hand comes after, right? Because it's not natural. He's doing that to try and enforce the lie. He's doing that, right? It's just not natural. If he says it at the same exact time, "I will not lower taxes," it's different than "I will not lower taxes." You know, can you see the difference? You know, so when the hands don't match the words, you have to pay attention to that too. There's so much. I I could say that I've lost a lot of friends and relationships have been damaged in my life because I'm pretty good at detecting when when people are lying. I pay attention to people's natural flow. I pay attention to clusters of behaviors. When someone says something that just doesn't make sense, it usually doesn't make sense. I mean, we all know things work a certain way in the world works a certain way, and when things don't make sense and the physical cues are there and the omissions are there, which are the things they left out, uh, it's easier to find than you think. So that's just part one of my little thing on how to spot a liar, and we'll do part two soon.